Hi guys, my name is Aaron Snyder and I'm going to be giving you my Pecha Kucha presentation on why we need to rethink the drug war. In the early 1920s, the United States government voted into law that they would prohibit the use and sale of alcohol. Shortly after, in the next decade, due to increased incarceration in prisons, loss of revenue, and overall increase in crime rate, people voted back into law that alcohol would be legal in the early 1930s. In the 1930s, hemp was still a major resource in America. But around the same time, nylon had just been invented and was to be a major cash crop for America. In 1937, Harry Anslinger, head of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, spoke to Congress and helped pass the Marijuana Transfer Tax Act, which was the first law which allowed there to be government control on the drug. Shortly after, in American cinema, there was a movie called Reefer Madness, which depicted those who used the drug as completely insane and not able to control themselves at all. This was majorly because Harry Anslinger was a major push in what was produced in Hollywood. If there was a movie that he thought was too kind to marijuana or its users, he banned it. And it's basically a campaign of propaganda that he had against marijuana to convince the American public that it was not good. On October 27, 1970, the Nixon administration implemented a Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act. This was due to reports of increased usage of heroin among Vietnam servicemen. In 1973, the Drug Enforcement Agency took over as the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, bringing about a much harsher look on drugs as a whole. In 1988, during Reagan's run as president, the National Office for the Drug Control Policy was also enacted, bringing about many of the campaigns such as Just Say No and DARE. Since the drug war began in the early 70s, there has been a sharp increase in the amount of people being incarcerated in prison for their drug use. This also corresponds with a sharp increase in the amount of money being spent not only nationally, but worldwide, trying to stop the transport and sale of drugs. Also, conversely, you might think, there has been an increase in the amount of people dying from drug use in America throughout the years. This suggests that the drug war has been unsuccessful thus far. This figure does not include those killed in gang-related shootings or other shootings involved in drug deals, as they are not technically drug-related deaths. This is another thing that you can see in modern-day Mexico, who has just enacted a drug war of their own. In many areas, including Juarez, you can see a sharp increase in the amount of people being murdered by the drug cartels after the government declared a war on them. This graph shows that much. Even with all supporting evidence showing that the drug war has failed and will never truly succeed, the Supreme Court will still refuse to see a case involving the legalization of marijuana. In modern-day California, even though the drug is technically legal for medical patients, the DEA, a federal agency, will still overrule the state's laws and shut down facilities. This is not only a waste of time, but money as well for both the state and the federal government. To sum up, I feel that the drug war in general is a war of an older generation and really has no place in modern day society. I feel that not only do the statistics show that the drug war has failed, but they show that it is never going to succeed. And also, the reason that it passed in the first place is mostly because the people of the 1930s did not have the resources to figure out for themselves what is right. They just believed that marijuana is what the government told them what it was. Nowadays, we know that there's cultures such as Amsterdam who have it fully legalized, and they have less of a drug problem there than we do here. Other than that, these are my resources, and I hope you guys enjoyed the speech and hope it was informative.